Am I the a-hole for exposing my mom, sister, and cousin at a family event? I'm a 21-year-old woman currently juggling part-time work and house cleaning jobs while attending college. I live at home with my mom, Nicole, 56F, and my sister, Jade, 25F. Despite being the youngest adult in the house and working part-time, I'm the only one who truly budgets and saves. My mother and sister both have well-paying full-time jobs, but they've never learned how to manage money responsibly. Whenever they get paid, it's gone almost instantly, blown on shopping, eating out, and things they don't need. Because of their history with money, and more specifically my money, I keep my savings in a hidden, disguised safe. It looks like a book and is tucked away in a well-hidden spot in my room. Why in cash, you might ask? Because a couple of years ago, both my mom and sister took money from me without asking. Not once, twice. They apologized. I forgave them, but I never forgot. So I've kept my savings in cash, and I made sure each bill had a small bend in the right-hand corner. I even have photos and video proof of the bills, documenting their serial numbers and condition. I had about $12,000 saved. That money is everything to me. It's tuition, food, rent, my future. And then, about 2 weeks ago, I noticed something chilling. The book safe was missing. At first, I thought maybe I had moved it in my sleep-deprived state. But after tearing my room apart, I realized it was gone. I was furious and panicked. I searched the house from top to bottom. That's when I found it, my book safe, broken open and tossed carelessly into the garage bin, wrapped in an old cardboard box. I recognized the cardboard instantly. It was from a 12-pack of ginger ale we had just bought. And that's when I remembered something odd. A day earlier, my cousin, Ava, 24F, had been over, and I'd seen her carrying that exact same piece of cardboard out to the backyard, where my mom and sister already were. At the time, I was just coming home from school, sweaty and tired, and heading upstairs to shower. I barely registered it. Now I couldn't get the image out of my mind. So I waited until no one was home. Then I went full detective. I checked both my mother's and sister's wallets. And guess what? My bills were in there. The bent corners matched. The serial numbers matched. I took photos and video evidence. Then I came up with a plan. It was time to be petty and loud. The next day, my extended family was gathering at my aunt's house for dinner. Everyone was there, my aunts, uncles, cousins, even family members who usually skip these things. I waited until after dinner, while we were all in the living room talking. I casually turned to Ava and asked, "Hey, what were you doing with that cardboard at our place the other day?" She looked caught off guard and quickly said she was helping my mom spray paint some picture frames in the backyard. My mom's into DIY furniture refurbishing. I just smiled and nodded. Then I got up, walked out to the car, and came back in with my bag. Inside it was the broken book safe. I dropped it dramatically on the coffee table, right in front of Ava. My sister was nearby. I looked at Ava and said, "You recognize this, don't you?" She looked stunned and stayed quiet. I turned to my sister. "You definitely do." By now, the room had gone completely silent. Everyone was watching. Then I pulled out my phone and started showing them the photos and videos, my bills with the bent corners, the serial numbers, the before and after shots. Then I took their wallets out, yes, I brought them, and opened them in front of everyone. I showed how the cash in their wallets matched the exact bills from the safe. My sister went pale. My aunt, Ava's mom, lost it. She started yelling at Ava for stealing from family, calling her an embarrassment. Other relatives looked shocked, and some just looked heartbroken. Of course, my mom, sister, and cousin immediately started scrambling for excuses. It was a misunderstanding. I didn't know it was your money. You shouldn't go through people's wallets. They twisted themselves in knots trying to make it look like I was the villain. That's when I shut it down. I said, calmly and clearly, "I'm being generous by not going to the police. Yet. You have 1 month to return every cent. Or I press charges. I'm also moving out. Don't contact me unless it's to pay me back." Then I turned to my aunt and apologized for the scene, grabbed my bag, and left. When I got home, I installed a lock and chain on my bedroom door. That was the last night I ever slept in that house. The fallout? Oh, it was delicious. My cousin's mom, the host of the dinner, contacted me a few days later. She told me she was making Ava sell her iPad, Nintendo Switch, and game collection to repay me, and she'd also be working extra hours to cover the rest. My other aunt, my mom's sister, was livid with my mom for enabling this behavior. As for my mom and sister, they were humiliated, but mostly angry that I embarrassed them in front of the family. A few relatives told me I went too far, that I should have handled it privately. that I made a scene. You know what? Maybe I did. But when people you live with steal your future and when they lie to your face and expect you to stay quiet, sometimes the only way to get justice is to make sure the whole room hears it. I'm currently staying in my friend's basement. Her parents offered me a very low rent rate, and in exchange, I bake cupcakes and cakes for them once a week. It's honestly the most peace I've felt in years. I'll be closing this account soon, since some of the responses I got from outside trolls were ridiculous. Yes, some people called me a sheep for mentioning COVID, go figure. But before I go, I'm getting a savings account and credit card this week. Lesson learned the hard way. So, am I the a-hole for putting my own family on blast in front of everyone?